group. Gonna talk about manufacturing process, and it's compounded by me, uh, Leonardo Gondim, and Maria Fernanda Azambuja. So, uh, production engineering is divided uh, into several areas of activity in the market, and manufacturing process is one of them. To have the best performance on this energy topic, PD17, there are some operation systems, sustainable methodologies, organization in the service stages, and different manufacturing process for different areas. Our presentation will address each of these themes, bringing their context and relating them to articles found from the bibliometric searches that were carried out on the Web of Science and followed the thematic. In the objectives of manufacturing process related to the study of production engineering, deterministic and social systems stand out, focusing on systems management, encompassing the social linked to people, production processes, the environment, and also technical knowledge. Uh, to talk about methods, systems and models are used to improve the operation of the company or industry. They are intended to increase productivity in the industry, minimize the amount of byproducts, and also reduce waste generated during the entire manufacturing process. Some examples that are used to are is to are sorry the examples that are used to uh, improve the operation is MPT and the Kanban. For our work, we used bibliometric searches whose main objectives was to deepen the relationship between manufacturing process and production engineering. In general, we thought other dimensions such as calculus 1, sustainable development and innovations. For this, the thematic method and the Web of Science database were used, and for this reason, the work was divided into three fundamental steps. In addition, when performing the search with the keywords with the Boolean method, 138 results were found. So, to talk about systems, are types of systems divided into four groups: deterministic, animated, social, and ecological. With deterministic and social being the most closely linked to the production engineer. Therefore, in practice, this model is used in two systems: in manufacturing production and in production in operation and services. Manufacturing production seeks to correlate product production volume with variety. This type is divided as follows: discrete manufacturing, design processes, which is related to the production of highly customized products and low production volume. The jobbing process, which consists of a sharing of resources between products, batch process, which involves repetitive operation while batches are being manufactured with a smaller variety. Repetitive manufacturing, mass production process, which involves mass production with low variety, and continuous manufacturing, which are the stream of high volume, standardized production with maximized uh, uninterrupted operation. The other system is production operations and service, which can be divided into three groups, namely professional services that seek to bring the best experiences to the customer, im- improving service provision and bringing a high level of customization that is direct with the customer. Mass service follow pre-established procedures and a division of labor based on customer surveys. Service stories are among two other mentioned above for having contact with customers and analyzing their volume, but also empathizing the manufacturing process. Mechanical product. So to now we're gonna talk about process. Uh, from the deterministic and social systems. So, a mechanical production covers, for the most part, manufacturing process linked to the pure mechanics, which mainly encompasses the production of products in the industrial sector. This type of production can be divided and classified into groups to and into groups and subgroups, depending on the characteristics of each process, and shown in the following image. The additive production, on the other hand, is directly related to 3D printing. These elements of Industry 4.0 is characterized by the development of products from computer-aided digital model. There is a deposit of layers of materials forming and objects without the need for models or some kind of ear and tear. It has a wide range of production possibilities, and some advantages such as financial benefits, uh, spend and efficiency. Efficiency. It stands out a lot in when compared to traditional models by reducing steps and process in the manufacture of an object. And the most important uh, process from production engineering is the service production process are who are fundamental for the best performance of an industry or um, yeah, for an industry. This process focuses on seeking greater efficiency in production by organizing how activities should be carried out, defining the sequence, selecting the best equipment, and defining the responsibility of each professional, for example. This is a crucial role of production engineering in any manufacturing process, since without this organization, a series of problems are generated, namely high costs, difficult company development, low production quality, and waste. To avoid these problems, there are several production process which form a production chain with several stages. Among them are the process mapping, which is the procedure in which the engineer defines the stages and their respective people in charge. The identification of bottlenecks, which basically boils down to finding the stage with the greatest deficiency and solving it. The construction of an action plan that is based on creating a plan for all stages of the process linked to plans and goals. Monitoring the metrics of the results which at the end of the process focuses on analyzing the if the process is efficient and or seeking improvements. Uh, on application to this theme, uh, we search articles, and the article with the most citations of the established keywords was the work towards special perspective and or on sustainability transitions. In short, says that in recent years, innovations have been taking place in sustainable social technical systems largely due to the like literature on transitions which adds an adaptation in the means of production and consumption so that they accompany societies and economies. The second review covers all the subjects we wanted. It is a review of the production and manufacturing processes of supplies related to the social part and to the increase of productive efficiency. The main contributions of the latest review are to highlight the use of mathematical programming in the search for efficiency and management in the work of employees. These studies are essential for three the United National SDGs, which are SDG 9, SDG 8, and SDG 12. Finally, the studies bring a very clear view of the manufacturing process in different areas with the same purpose in different areas of the market. To conclude our work, manufacturing process cover everything that adds market value to a product, focusing mainly on the production stage. For the process uh, to to have a most efficient way, the organization of production is necessary, which is one of the main functions of the production engineering. There are types of systems and models which are related to respective process. Production engineering, when related to manufacturing process, is a linked to ecological systems, sustainable development, deterministic additive production, and especially to social systems, since it deals with the production of service, and a fundamental role of the engineer. That was our presentation. Thank you, everyone.